Haven House, built in 1913, now became the haven for the Epsilon Delta chapter of Kappa Sigma. Right away, it was packed with veterans and young freshmen. Kappa Sigma was ready to go and grow.
I was the Grand Master when we moved into the house back in 1945.
Well, then you saw a place that really needed a lot of work then.
Well, no, actually the chapter house was in great shape then. But we did do some work in the 60s, and now it's time again. Time waits for no one.
We became the largest fraternity on campus in numbers of members of the chapter. At one time we had as many as 40 people living on the top floor up there. I think at one time we had as many as 150 in the fraternity. This was right after the war, and of course a lot of veterans were returning.
And of course we didn't have a kitchen. And we used to sell the house, or the prospective pledges, on the fact that they didn't have to have that overhead to keep up and so forth, but it worked out, and we had, somewhere in the neighborhood 135 people back in the 50s, in the late 40s, when we did a lot of the winning things that we did.
Come on, Gunder! Let's do it! Let's be great!
Joe Newton, termed the top college high school coach in America by Sports Illustrated for his 18 Illinois State Championship cross-country teams at York High School in Elmhurst and work in the Olympic track effort, has a special place in his heart for Kappa Sigma.
Bernie, Brady, and I are kind of like the Gold Dust twins. We've known each other since we were about 8 years old, and he's here today, standing up there with my wife right now, and my lifelong friend. We went to high school together, went to college together, and we're still together.
And then we went to high school together, graduated in '46. He came right on to Northwestern. I went to the service, and then I joined him at Northwestern 2 years later. And, well, we've been friends for, golly, forever.
Is it fair to say he kind of put the thumb on you, put the arm on you, and said, join me in my fraternity?
Yes, he did.
Happy New Year, everybody, everywhere. This is Mel Allen with John Harrington, greeting you as the Wildcats from Northwestern prepare to tangle with the Golden Bears of California in a gridiron battle that promises excitement galore.
An enduring memory of the post-war years was the 1948 football season, Northwestern's only Rose Bowl trip to face former coach Lynn Pappy Waldorf and the heavily favored Golden Bears of California.
And boy, the time is running out on the Wildcats as Cal leads 14-13. And about 2 minutes left. And now the left halfback, Ashenbrenner, motion to the right, a direct snap from center to Donnicliff. He's running into the 20, to the 25, to the 20. He's down to the 10, the 5, he's over. He's over for the TD.
Kappa Sigs were leaders in campus activities, men like national debate champion John Roberts, now Dean of Law at DePaul University, and future federal appellate judge Dave Ebell. Another stop on the way from the Rock and Campus Center at University Hall was Scott Hall and the WAMU Show and Conn Auditorium.
To the girls, we'll not forget them through the years that lie ahead. To Northwestern, where we met them, and the wonderful life we led.
Broadway-bound brothers Gary Crabb, Hal Warren, known by a stage name Hal Holden, and Jim Garrison were mainstays of the WAMU Show. Another song and dance man in the 60s show, standing below Brother Crabb, and to the right of future megastar Ann Margaret, was our beloved Jim Grenzebach. Grenz's pledge son was hard-charging Randy Preddy.
I had never been north, really, and coming from Little Rock, Arkansas to Chicago to go to college was a real eye-opener for me, and I found a group of young men in all different kinds, shapes, sizes, and we melded together over 4 or 5 years, and I learned something from them, and I hope they learned something from me.